we're gonna shift her in the big cog, and
so you've got to do something crazy.
that's the plan.
That's the plan.
We'll see how it works. It's tractor pull day, so we're getting the Tomcat ready, just about to pull it outside, fire it up and load it up in the trailer. Ready? Sounds good.
You're loaded on the trailer like a winner.
See about that at the end of the night.
Right.
If she were to survive. She came home in April of 2021 at 14 months of age. At 3 years of age, she started walking. She then had her tracheostomy tube removed. She is off of her ventilator. She still has her breathing tube. She has very poor eyesight, which was expected. And she is standing here today to show you one of the great kids or great cases that can come out of the children's hospital.
All right, the track out there is getting a little bit milly, so we moved a little bit of weight back, and we're gonna shift her in the big cog. And
It's only going. They're only going 290 feet.
Yep.
You know, 300 feet. The leader's at 318, so you've got to do something crazy. We can do that, right?
Yeah. I don't know. we're gonna have to try something. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. But
everybody's falling back.
yep, there's just nothing out there. We gotta move the weight back to get it out of the hole, because that's the only time the sled's not on you, and there's nothing at the other end to be dragging the sled down the track.
Make your speed at the starting line.
Yep. So that's why we moved some weight back, and hopefully we can shoot out of the hole fast and get the sled rolling.
Well, shooting out of the hole is going to take walking it out, though. You can't pull the tires out.
Yep. Everybody wants to go wide open, but there's not much on the starting line either, so you're gonna have to roll it out and get hooked up and roll into the throttle nice and smooth so you don't blow the tires off of it. So that's the plan. We'll see how it works. Listen carefully when he's pulling off the track. You can hear the flutter of the engine. It's got a little bit of a mist to it and a flutter, so once he's pulling off the track, just listen for that and you'll hear what I'm talking about here at the end of the video. forgot to film the post-pull update that we normally do. We tried something different. The track was in pretty rough shape by the time we pulled. We moved the sled all the way, not all the way, but over to the left quite a bit, and it didn't work by any means. We're trying to kind of cross-track it, so start on the left starting line and then end kind of right of center at the other end, but the starting line was pretty hard, and which was fine. He kind of waited a little bit, as you saw in the video, and rolled into the throttle. And as soon as he got into wide open throttle, it pulled the tractor to the left quite a bit, and then he was just fighting to keep it even in balance. So that's where we screwed up for sure. The other thing is, we fired it up to load it up. It did have a little bit of a flutter, but we got to take the motor out anyway, so we'll check that out. Definitely hurt it a little bit. I don't know what's, it's got a tick and a little bit of a flutter. I don't know if it's got a broken valve or valve spring or lifter or rocker arm or something's broken, but definitely doesn't sound right. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Maybe we'll get some, if we tear it down ourselves, we'll get some video of that, hopefully. So that's gonna be it for this video. Not the result we wanted, but I think we raised a lot of money for the Children's Hospital, so that's awesome. I know for sure the Calcutta, which is where we auction off the tractors, so like if you buy a tractor for a couple $1,000 or whatever you buy it for on the auction, if your tractor wins, you get half the pot. So if you add all the 14 Pro Stocks that we auctioned off tonight, it was like $61,000 just in the Calcutta. That's not the rest of the event. So, and then the winner actually donated their half of the winnings back. So that's awesome. Right there was $61,000 to the Children's Hospital. That doesn't count all the admission to the poll, food and beer sales, sponsors, all of that. So like for this poll specifically, there's no prizes. There's no winning prize money or anything. It's all, every puller there is pulling for free. So it's pretty cool. A lot of people that take time and money and effort towards it. So we'll see what the end result is in December, but I think it was a good night. The stands were nice and full, and I think they sold out of food early, so which is good. We gotta make sure we up that next time. But I don't think they sold out. They were out by the end, but sold 95% of it, let's say that. So that's good. I'm sure Emily wishes she loves that pole, but she had a wedding tonight, so we'll have that pole again next year. She'll make it to that one, so it's all good. But we'll check out the Tomcat, hopefully be working on the Thunder Clutch, and back to some farming soon. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.